John, am I right in thinking that your family is part of the Polish diaspora? Came after the Second World War?
No, actually, my family is part of the Solidarity
80s. Okay, I apologise.
Although, having said that, I mean, parts of my family went to the UK in 40s, and then my mum, she went to the UK actually in the 70s, so
Okay.
even before
A
Solidarity.
little bit of the wave. So, as you correctly said, there's like a little bit of a wave around post Second World War. Some people couldn't get back. There's a really quite complex story about that. Then there's also the generation of the 80s, and then there's that generation that came after Poland
joined the EU,
the accession treaty in 2004. So you've got these three waves of Poles, and each one of them was quite distinct. So I remember reading that the 1940s Poles would they
kind of look down,
Polish.
And
exactly.
they also look down on the younger generation.
On the younger generation, so probably you know all about this, but you also know that Polish clubs and Polish places are dotted around Britain. Continue to serve quite an important function for literally decades amongst the Poles that were grouped and gathered together. In the UK, and of course I remember those ones from London. I went to visit them as I fell in love with the Polish culture and all the rest of it. So this is a really, actually, I'm going to be honest with you, John, that this is a bit of a sad story. There's a chap in the north of England called Matt. He doesn't seem to publish his surname. I tried to do my research, try and find him, but I couldn't quite find his surname. But he probably doesn't publish his surname for good reason, because Matt's passion, his enthusiasm, is to explore forgotten, derelict places in the north of the UK. And he publishes these photos of his visits, his nocturnal and daytime-based incursions, on a Facebook page called Lost Places and Forgotten Faces, which has over 24,000 followers. So he's been building up time over time. And it turns out that Matt also has a Polish girlfriend. So he went to a former church, which for decades was a Polish Veterans Association, Polish Veterans Club, and served, therefore, that function.
And there are quite a few of those around the UK.
There are. Now, the interesting story about this is, John, is that this place basically had some structural issues, like many of us do as our years go on. And in 2007, it was closed for good. Can you imagine that when Matt turns up at this place, he's walking into this building, he finds almost as if it's the Marie Celeste, as if the people only left yesterday.
A time capsule.
Like a time capsule, because what he discovers, and he posted 77 pictures, you can see these pictures by clicking on the link below the stories. He walked around, he said, it was a shame to see the state of the place. Boy, oh boy. Not only the vandalism, there's actually not that much vandalism compared to what could be there, but the fact that there's a whole bunch of quite precious, even you could say sacred Polish military things.
Like memorabilia.
There's a picture of the Pope, which this graffiti guy sprayed on. There's pictures of Władysław Sikorski, who was the commander-in-chief of the Polish armed forces during the Second World War, died in a tragic... So there's all this stuff, and it looks like literally someone just closed the door behind them and walked out. They've got pots of milk from 2007. I won't describe the state of them. You have to click on the picture. They've got photos.
Probably cheese now, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Extra mature.
Well, someone in the comments wrote it's the source of COVID. But you've also got pictures, for example, lying on the floor and photo albums. And people on Facebook, this has gathered a huge amount of interest from Poles. People in Facebook said, that's me and my sister in the first row of that group of girls. So the sadness of it is that there's all these actual memories and literally people saying, like, oh, do you remember Pani Jadwiga, who was behind that bar? Because there was a bar, there was a dance floor. It served this important function. And most of all, people are genuinely amazed that there's so many banners and flags and symbols and religious related stuff that has just been left. But there's a good news to this story.
Go on.
Okay, so your heart sank. I can see again, John.
I know. I was getting a bit sad there. I was waiting for the kind of twist in the story.
There is a twist in the story, as you know. I do like a good old twist in my story. So I turn my pace. First of all, I want to talk about people's emotional reaction. Someone said my heart is bleeding. Many people were outraged by the vandalism, but the good news is that, true to form, the Polish diplomatic corps have sprung into action. And the very day after this story went viral, the consulate up in the north of England has already been there. It's applied to go in to rescue these artifacts, these memorabilia, and to put them into their rightful place so that they don't get forgotten.
That's fantastic news.
I'm happy about that. So if you click on the link below the story, you can
find out all about it.
And it genuinely is chilling to see these little these flags and emblems and all the rest of it. So click on the link below.
Great.